Welcome back, everyone. Today's lesson is going to be on the past perfect tense. Now, you've already learned several verb tenses in the past, but today we're going to be focusing on the past perfect verb tense. First, let's actually talk about the simple past tense. The simple past tense is when you're talking about one thing that happened in the past and it's done, one thing. But when you're talking about the past perfect, that is when you are talking about not one thing, simple past, you're talking about multiple things, many things that happened in the past. And you have to ask yourself one question: which came first? If you have many things that you are talking about that are already done, you want to be clear which one came first. Because sometimes if you just have many different simple past sentences together, it could be confusing as to the right order. And that is why we have the past perfect. Some people call the past perfect, it's the past of the past. And what that means is that if you are talking about something that happened here on the timeline, you have something in the past. What happened before that? So this is the past of the past story that you are talking about. So let's kind of talk about the pattern here. It's a very simple pattern. It's had plus past participle. Now, when it comes to the present perfect tense, we have to have subject-verb agreement. When we're talking about the past perfect tense, forget about it. Everything is had plus the past participle. I, you, we, they, he, she, it. Had, past participle. This is where people get a little bit confused. The past participle, we're going to be talking about the ending of the form of the verb that we're going to be using. Now, regular verbs, they end in ed. It doesn't matter if the regular verb is being used in the simple past tense or the past perfect tense. It's always going to end in ed. How do we know if a verb is regular or irregular? Well, the simple past tense. If the verb ends in ed in the simple past tense, that is a regular verb, which means that the past participle of a regular verb is still going to be the same. It ends in ed. Like ask, asked. The ed ending, that is the same for not only simple past, but also for the past perfect. For irregular verbs, that's different. So if you have a word like read, right? Read, past tense, read, right? The spelling hasn't changed. It's not like readed, right? There is no ed ending. That is an irregular verb. So irregular verbs do not end in ed. Those ones just have to kind of memorize. The easier ones are, of course, the regular verbs. Everything just ends in ed. The ones that are irregular, the rules are really weird on that one. So it's better just to learn a lot of the irregular verbs. So when we're looking at the past perfect tense, I want to show you an example to kind of emphasize the order that we're talking about, because which came first is the question you're trying to ask. So the example that we have here, let's look here. I was hungry, I ordered food. Forget this one first. So I was hungry, I ordered food. Those are two simple past sentences. But if I add the had, and ordered is your past participle because order is a regular verb. So I was hungry, I had ordered food. Which one came first if I use this present or the past perfect tense? Well, let's look here. I was hungry, I had ordered food. Right? So whenever you use the past perfect, the had pattern, you're taking it one step before. So I was hungry, I had ordered food. If I say they called back, they ran out, those are two simple past sentences. They called back, they ran out, so regular, irregular. But they had, ran's past participle is going to be run, just have to memorize it. They had run out. So which one came first? Did they call first, or did they run out of my order first? Well, they had run out of my order, so they called back. That's the idea. Whenever you have the had past participle, you're saying that one came before the other past event. Let's review. Past perfect tense. What is the simple past tense? When you are talking about one completed event in the past. When do you use the past perfect tense? You use the past perfect tense when you are talking about multiple things that happened in the past. What question must you ask when using the past perfect tense? You should ask the question, which came first? You want to be clear what happened first. What is the pattern that is used for the past perfect tense? Had plus past participle. How do we know if a verb is a regular verb? If the verb ends in ed in the simple past tense. How do we know if a verb is an irregular verb? If it does not end in ed in the simple past tense. What is the past perfect tense also known as? It is also known as the past of the past.